Give God praise and give God praise. Everything in life has its own particular culture. And to be a little more intricate, every human being in life is individually cultured. We all. Our nature is our own particular nature. Ushers, you may be seated. Although our nature sometimes seems as if it's like other people. There are some things we have in common, nature-wise. Most of us, when we are cold, we will shrivel and quiver and shake. When we're hot, we'll sweat. Most of us, when we have a toothache, we will say, oh my God. Most of us, when we're lost in the dark, we get frightened. These are things that all of us have in common. If you don't like dogs, you're going to be in trouble if a dog is loose. If you don't like rats, you're going to be on a chandelier trying to hold on to the rat pass by. So there are some of the things our nature have in common. We're protectors. Mothers and fathers will protect their children. Children will defend their mothers and their fathers. Water is deep, and we try to have the sense to not dive in the deep if you can't swim. These things we all have in common. But then there is this thing that God did that we can't figure out. That is that each person, everyone within the sound of my voice, those who will be viewing our media sources, will have to come to grips with the fact that individuals need a lifetime to understand themselves. So how can we continue to put pressure on these same individuals to just be absolutely clear in the concept of their life or our lives? We get it wrong sometimes. We get it wrong because we think everybody's the same. People are not the same. All males are not the same. All females are not the same. There are differences. There's a culture to everything associated with certain behaviors. The culture of humanity is associated with selfishness and judgment. Most humans are selfish within themselves and love to judge others. And there are those of us who have matured just a little, so we don't judge as much, but we are still pretty selfish. It's in our culture. You can't go beside that. You can't get away from it. The culture of nature is filled with anticipation and surprise. Always surprised about what other people do and always anticipating that something better will happen to you. Sometimes we anticipate it's going to happen and we have not sown in the seeds. We've done nothing to make it happen, but that's just in the culture of our nature. And then there is, in the culture of age, there is demise and incapacitation. From 55 on up, you'll start picking it up a little at a time. Your first sign of getting old will be when people start laughing and talking about you. You can't remember nothing. Why are you shaking going down the steps? Mama, that's not your car, that's Daddy's truck. Oh, did I go to sleep last night? Oh. Is today Tuesday? Oh. That's funny to youth. That's funny. Can y'all believe Grandmama? She didn't even know what shoes she had on. No, it's funny, and you have a right to mock and laugh, as I did when I was younger, and things that older people did was somewhat comical. Demise is part, incapacitation is part of the culture of age. But there is something mysteriously wrong with us. When we are young, we cannot wait until we get older. And then when we're older, we don't say that because, in order to get younger, you got to leave here and go back and start your life over again. So we say to youngsters sometimes, you know, if only I had listened, if I had known then what I know now. And you wonder, why is it that young folk can't hear that? And then you have to remember, in the culture of age, there's demise, and this is very subtle, and sometimes the arrogance of youth and continual intoxication of youth won't allow them to hear us when we say, if you keep on living, you're going to understand more about what you don't know. You're going to understand that you are expected to do as good as you know, but you can do much better than you think. You're not going to get that at the beginning, but it's in the culture of age. And you look in the mirror one day and you realize, I don't look like I used to look, almost as if you're supposed to. I mean, I was caught there. And so older people really don't like mirrors. No, it don't remind us of, no, it reminds us of today. And we see that there is demise taking place. And we see that there is an incapacitation. I'm going somewhere with this. So in the nature and in the culture of age, we have, and then in the culture of suffering, there is this thing called fear and anxiety, regardless of who you are and how much you lie about it. Oh, I'm all right. The truth is, there is anxiety in suffering. If you get a true phone call, I made a fool of myself, but I apologize to the sheriff department. They called me the other day about something real legal for me, and really truly trying to help me, and I didn't know who it was. I just saw Fayette County Sheriff Department. I said, scam, you're nothing but a scam. You are nothing but a scam. He said, Mr. Prothero, this is the Fayette County. Yeah, you're probably a scam. And then he told me what we were talking about. I said, my God, would you please forgive me? He said, well, Reverend, there's so much stuff going on out there. I understand, but boy, that didn't make me feel any better. I felt like a complete idiot. Calling it, because there's this fear and there's this anxiety that comes with types of sufferings. And when you go to the doctor, how many of you feel that thing? And they ask me, well, do you need to take something before you go to the dentist because we're going to do a deep cleaning? I answer, I don't need to, but if I were you with this ADHD, I would give me something. Because they tried that at an MRI, and they slid me in there, having given me, oh, you'll be all right, it won't take 20 minutes. I said, ma'am, I'm going to tell you something now. If I get in trouble with my anxiety, I'm coming up out of here. Oh, no, you'll be all right. I tried, y'all. I listened to the music, the beat. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. And the morning, boop, boop, boop. I said, one more than boop, boop, boop. I said, hey, she said, why are you shouting? Get me out of here now. Gotta go. If you don't have something open, I won't be taking MRIs. A little fear, a little anxiety. It comes with everything and everybody. And then there's, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, there's a culture to nature. There's a culture to sex too. And the twins, there are need and pleasure or not. But sex is not necessarily sexuality. Sex is in your nature. Sexuality is in your orientation. But everybody who's born of somebody has needs to be pleasured or not as it relates to the activity called sex. Doesn't matter how much you submit it, but we all know that by now. Some of you know it too well. But that's the culture of it. You can't change it. At a certain age, things begin to happen. You begin to reach certain, and then the culture of age meets the culture of sex, and the fight began. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Every time, age will win. But you have to get old to know that. Oh, y'all can have that free. I'm just going to give you that. You don't even pay attention to anything else in life. You can have that one free. Y'all missed that one. Keep on living then. In the culture of relationship, there's loyalty. And then, unfortunately, I must tell you, there is disloyalty. When you meet a person, you do not meet purity. It doesn't matter how pristine the approach is. You do not meet purity when you meet a person. And so you spend the rest of your time trying to see how to accept the fact that this person is pure, and then when they're not pure, it's going to bother you. Why are you expecting people to be different than you are? Everybody got gamed, and the player going to get played, so don't feel bad when your day comes. Some games really soft, some is hard and harsh. But there are no people out there that just giving themselves up 100% like that. It's not going to happen. People lie. People protect themselves. They're not going to expose themselves to you because you want a relationship. And then sometimes we get crazy. I got a message behind all of this. We get crazy sometimes. We think that we ought to have a conference and says, let's tell it all. You go first. And there are times when people think they have done that. And they have a good time afterwards, everything, get a little wine, do whatever, whatever they do. And, oh, boy, I feel better now. We have exposed ourselves to each other. Your pants are on fire. Because it's not in the nature of people to offer loyalty without time being the driver. And we get in trouble because we don't expect the culture of loyalty or disloyalty to operate because we expect so much to get something without paying for it. We want the advantages. That doesn't happen. And everybody that you meet, every relationship that you have or have been in or will get into will have to grow in loyalty. Time will help you, but you're not going to start out. You know what? Because you don't know your nature. Imagine a 20-year-old getting married and promising, I ain't going to ever do nothing wrong for the rest of my life. At 20 years old, ask 30. And then ask 40. And there you are, someone, now you're 40, you're doing what you were made to do at 40, but said you wasn't going to do when you were 20, didn't even know that 20 more years was going to change things. And now you break up your relationship because you don't know anything about the culture of age and the culture of nature and the culture of sex and the demise and anticipation, the need and the pleasure. And all of this stuff discombobulates us. And it causes us to be people always in search for that thing and that place where everything is going to be all right. It will never be all right. You'll always have to work for it. You'll always have to make it come to pass. You'll always have to take a lot of stuff and give a lot of stuff. You'll always have to deal with your own dishonesty. And if you want to be honest with someone else about this or that because you don't trust that they're going to handle you right. So that's what we have in our lives. We have a culture and we lie. And we perpetrate. Not meaning to hurt you, not meaning to hurt anybody, but that's just who we are. So I've been talking to you lately about a story, and most of you have gotten it. Make a long story short. You got to hear me in maturity, too. Wait till I get through because you're going to miss the point. A woman finds that her husband is committing adultery. Catches him right in the act, it is called. And she is very upset, as you might expect. And they have a serious argument, as you might expect. And they call the Reverend over and say, Pastor, you got to talk to us because this is too big to handle. The Reverend comes over, and he's religious, and he's been preaching a long time. Reb got his Bible in his hand, got communion oil in the car. Reb tries to do the thing that the culture of our society constructs, and that is calm it down and then tell the person, usually that's the victim, you got to do some strange stuff here. What? You got to forgive him. Rev, now, I have to forgive him for what he said. Well, the Bible says, and God says, and Jesus says it, and nature says it. Ma'am, can you please tell me, says Reverend, why it is that you cannot forgive? She says, well, I got my reasons. She says, because he's not through yet. Now he looking funny, isn't he? She's speaking the truth. He's not worth forgiving because he's not through doing his thing yet. Now, baby, please, here come those lying promises. I promise you I ain't going to ever do it again. How old are you in this story? Let's give it 30. How can a 30-year-old say what they're promise? Promise. Don't, just promise it. 30 years old. Just starting to sweat the type of drop to make you a man. 30 years old and you want to promise somebody under the threat and the pressure that someone will take an advantage away from you. So you want to promise it. I understand it. It seems like it is a thing to do. I promise you, I will never do it again. Reverend said, will you forgive him? She said, nope, because he's not through yet. 3 months later, he's laying in the bed, having had a car wreck. He has a colostomy bag on, got a trachea in his throat. He's in bad shape. He lost a kidney and 4 broke ribs and fractured his ankle. But he's in the bed, and he's living in the same house, the same garden, the same clothes, same ironing board, same washing machine. Everything is the same, except he's not the same. He's an invalid. And here she is in the culture of nature. She could just, boil the grits and give me some antifreeze. She could. Or the Lord could place a test on her. So after 3 months of serving him, and she did not miss a beat. When he asked for water at 3 o'clock in the morning, she got up, although she had to go to work at 6. Get up at 3 and give him water and change his bag for him and clean him. And then the next day it's the same thing. And sometimes she did it, he'll be, that's the best. You're doing it too hard. This and that. All kinds of complaints. But she did it. And she did it. For 3 months, she did it. One day he called her in his crying effort. She called him, and he came, and he called her. He was crying. She came in the room. She said, what's wrong, baby? He said, I feel so bad about what I did. Oh my God, you're going to have to forgive me. Baby, I don't think I'm going to make it. And she walked back out. He heard the shower water running and heard some things going around. She came back in. She was dressed up, smelling good, looking good. And she came in. She said, baby, I want you to know something. I do forgive you. Baby, you forgive me. Or so he breaks down. He's lamented. He's so proud to have been forgiven. And she puts a purse on her arm, as the older people do. I'm going to put it back in the 60s. You'll put a purse on your arm before you walk out. And he said, where are you going? She said, I'm going out. Out where? I'm going out. Now he's thinking what you're thinking. I don't care how many times I tell the story, you still think the same thing because it's nature. It's a culture of nature. And some of you are thinking this. She said, I forgive you because you're through. But I'm just getting started. And that's where we mess up. Because right now she's about to go out and find her a Jim somewhere, or John somewhere, or Andrew somewhere, and she's about to do the same thing to him he did to her. That's what you think? Yes, but you can't help it. It's the culture of nature. But there's something that I must intercept your thinking about. This is a woman like my wife. And I testify in the ultimate character that she had displayed. And she's not going to think that life give her the advantage when she goes out and do something stupid that caused all of these problems for her family just to retaliate. And you know why she can't do it? Because she's through with it. She's already passed the test. She don't need revenge anymore. She doesn't need to have retaliation gimmicks going on. She don't need it. She doesn't need it because she's through. She has passed the test. So what is it she's through with, Pastor? She's through with living a life in bondage of a bitterness and an anger and an upsetness and the anxiety of what another human being did to me because I expected that human being to be something other than that human being is. Now that's a twist, Pastor. Did he do what he did to hurt her? Only God knows. But probably not because he didn't get caught for 2 years, because he was sneaking around. So he wasn't trying to get caught. And I guess it's because he don't want her to know. So let's say that he wasn't doing it to hurt her, although it may have hurt her. He wasn't saying, I'm going to get up this morning and I'm going to go commit adultery and my wife is going to find me and she's going to be hurt. He didn't do that. He's not that foolish. But nature is so complex and nature is so conflicting that we can't get away from the way we think. So we can't get better until we are given tests to take, like serve that man that hurt you so bad to the glory of God, and when you finish and you please God, God will give you an exit from that trial. Although the trial exists, you will not be bound by the anxiety and the entrapments of that trial. And then you'll be free while he no longer is through. You are about to start your life, the same life, but without all that stuff that can get me in trouble with God. Boy, what a position to be in. Now you have to walk the street, though. You're going to pass by Miss Willibell's house, the gospel of the community, and she see you dressed up, and you've never been dressed up for 3 months because you've been in the house taking care of that man, and now you must be going somewhere, and you must. And then there is Mr. James, too, now. Mr. James, well, since he did you that way, I guess you, you're looking for somebody to pick up the pieces. Hey, baby, look what I'm here. Change. Because human nature puts stuff together. And all she's doing is walking the street, breathing fresh air, and saying, Lord, thank you that I can serve my husband without any grudge, without any anger, without any bitter. Thank you that you gave me the strength to make it through. I did not leave him. I did not divorce. Lord, I was talked about. Lord, I was so embarrassed. Lord, people said this. Lord, people said that. I was called insecure. I was called incapacitated. Lord, all this stuff, I don't have to deal with it anymore. Although it's happening, I'm free. I am free because I passed the test. Am I still hurt for? Nature always will carry a tint of hurt in everything. Even in the ultimate forgiveness, you can still see just a tint of hurt. Because I want to forgive you because it's right to forgive you, but not because I have grown to that point yet. But I'm not holding against you. It's just human nature to not necessarily overlook what you did that hurt me. So if he's not through, why forgive him and let him do this to me again? Let him get through. And God, life got away. That car wreck, he ended a whole lot of things for him. But boy, look at what he has to deal with while she's walking the street and breathing the fresh air of God and praising God, just going around the corner, around the block to come back and feed him dinner. My God, the mind must be terribly attacked by one, which I know who it is, too. Because that Negro said, the first chance I turn my back, I know what she do. Oh, my God, and she ain't been doing nothing at home. I know this, I know it. Oh, my God. Watch out, sir, you're going to make yourself sicker. You're going to make yourself sicker because your nature got you acting crazy because you don't understand another person's nature. What if she just doesn't have his nature? What if the person that you know as your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your girlfriend, your boy, what if you have different natures? I guarantee you do. You have different natures. Some natures are strong, some natures are not. There are natures that are weak and some are not. Natures that are sensitive and some that are not. So in today's message, for the brief moment I have left, because I have to remind you that what you think is automatic nature is not automatic nature. And what you think you will never do unless you got to that age where you passed the test, you better hush. And stop saying what you won't do. I'll never steal. Get hungry and see. I can't see nobody kill. Let somebody grab your baby by the throat then. Let somebody grab your wife. No, let somebody grab my wife. If you want to experience it, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you always remember not to grab my wife. I don't care who you are. You be Hulk Hogan. Then you have to beat me till I won't get up no more because I'm going to try. Because I do not want her like that lady in Crash. You sitting there watching police molest your wife. You sitting there talking about handcuffs on. Talking about, baby, what could I do? You can jump up in the air. You can spit. You can swallow your own eyes. You do something. You have to do something to show that I'm trying my best to help. You can't just sit there irresponsibly and watch something happen that you can control. So can you afford to sit in church, come to church every Sunday, and watch things happening that you can control and will do nothing about it? There is handcuffed by your own incapacitation mentality. You might be handcuffed by your own anticipation of more work or more responsibility, but you have to do something about the state of living as it relates to God. You cannot continue to allow your spirituality to decrease. You're better than that. You're much better than that. And then you invited her into your life. See, the secret of judgment is always other people's strangeness, but your fellowship. People are strange, and they are. They really are. Well, you go to bed with somebody one night, married, I hope, and then the next day you wake up and they have changed all of a sudden. You used to. I know the time when. It wasn't like this at first. Of course, free gospel. Who told you that preacher knew what he was talking about when he says, do you take to be your lawful wedded, and do you, before these witnesses, agree that in health and honor and the good, the bad, I do. I do. Yes, sir, I would like to say this to her. I'll never leave you, regardless of what you do. I'll always be true. My God, my God, my God. And all we can say, wish, hope, desire, expectation, and want. And every once in a while, there are people who will win the lottery. And they'll come up with what I came up with. And my lovely wife is a perfect example of someone who gambled and then gambled again, who forgave and forgave again, who took and took again. And I had the nerve one day, because she was not a communicator. Her parents don't talk. My parents talk so the whole city can. They sign language. What's up, boy? And those two met together. So to me, I wasn't hearing anything. To her, she was hearing noise. Around 17 years into the marriage, I'm thinking, man, I got to get out of here. I can't do this. I got to get out of here. No, tell the truth, Pastor. You started looking somewhere else and seeing stuff that you thought might work for you a little better because they can at least talk. I'm talking about trained animals like monkeys that can talk, parakeets and talk, since y'all want to go there with me. See, I passed the test, so I can talk about it. Y'all still taking the exam. They're still taking the exam. And one day she decided to stop taking my drug, and she was going all night long. All night long. No. She was gone. And her daughters, including the oldest, Pastor Kerr, Miss Scrupulous Precious, Miss Indifferent Chrissy, none of these rascals told me where she was. And they all knew. They knew that I was in travail. I was in trouble. I don't care where she is. Well, why aren't you sleeping then? I don't care where she is. Why you walking the floor then? Why you calling us at 3 o'clock in the morning? You don't care. I mean, have y'all heard from me? I don't care. I don't care if she'll ever call me. Hello? 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 You need to call me. We even fussing on the phone. You need to call me. We need to talk about this right now. That woman, they did nothing. Came in that morning. Where you been? To work. Oh, man. Jesus. You talking about a whipping? I received the whipping. And I say that to you transparently because as I have grown in my culture, and she has allowed me that growth, the sacrifice of that type of alliance will reward you eventually. She says stuff to me now like, you're a good husband. I'm so glad God gave me you. You're a good pastor. One day I said, let me get my sorry self up. She said, don't you say that. One thing you are not is a sorry man. I mean, she ain't feeding my ego now. She's baking it. She's baking it, boy. She's baking it. I have arrived. I have arrived. But but I haven't arrived. But what has happened is the test has been passed. The things that matter to others based on vanity now is trumped by value. It doesn't matter. She said to me yesterday, or 2 days ago, if I was not in your life, I think you would be dead by now. Well, of course, I'm thinking right now, you got something up? I mean, you didn't qualify that. Am I about to leave here? I mean, children, y'all come on, sign the will. Your mother has just... But she was talking about for over 40 years. She has taken a P.O. box, and she has taken every day, Monday, Tuesday, and she has made sure I'm healthy. That's powerful. Yeah. That makes me happy to know that God will entrust you with someone that won't hurt you. Even when you hurt them. So, I have tears today because the idea of those pills. Every day, she's upset with me. She's angry. She's disturbed because I want to do something to someone that argued with me on the basketball court and 30 minutes later they shot the girlfriend in the head. So certainly they wouldn't. But if you do it to your girlfriend, you sure do it to me. But she had to put up with all that kind of stuff. Chauvinism and male prejudice and misunderstanding, ADHD times 3. And that to just think about it. God has so protected all of us that he has people who put pills in a little box. Because you have no idea what, and she's training Chrissy and Michelle to do it now, so I think Chris and Michelle may know a little bit about it, But if something happened to Christmas Shea and Charmaine, I think Pastor Earl may help, but Precious don't know much about that. Precious going to hire somebody to do it. But it's that little thing that God does for us. It's that little thing that God places in our lives that remind us. You want me to tell you what your pills are? You got up this morning. And look at you. I mean, the culture of age have affected some of us. So we don't walk as fast, but we walk. But we do walk. And all we're expected to do is just give God back. Just reciprocate. So when the Bible says, count it all joy, you may as well count it up. Count it up. Start counting now. Because when you grow and you come to that point where you understand just how good God has been to you, and I guarantee it's going to be better than you have been to God. So we all have the responsibility of being patient with people. Well, I have been my wife's patient. Somebody have been your patient. You find people that are given to you that you have to see them as patients. Even if you got a boyfriend and a girlfriend, don't rush the idea of them becoming perfect. It's not going to happen. You have to give, especially men this day and time. We used to grow up around 38. It's 42, 45 now. That's no joke. I mean, that's just not no joke. Until then, we're trying to find ourselves. And then you're not going to be prepared for our menopause. It's called anthropause, I think it is. Andro. But you're not going to be prepared for that time when it happens and something is going on and you have no idea what it is. And you're seeking and you're searching and you're looking and you're trying to find out. You can't ask a question and you can't ask questions. You don't know why, what these emotions are. Well, you have no idea. All you know is she makes me mad. I don't like them. This is not enough. So let me go to work. Let me find, and you wonder what's going on with them. See, in the culture of a male nature, you're not the only one that have a type of menopause. And Lord, don't ask us to understand you. My God, we have missed the boat and we already on the water. That's a bad place to be. You can't understand women. Women can't understand men. So why do we fight and argue and separate and get divorces? Because we want the other person's nature to be what we expect it to be. People who were not raised with fathers are going to be different. People who were raised with fathers, in my day, was raised with hard fathers. And so love is quite difficult to come about in a feminine way. So whereas someone say, my son, do you mind if dad would share something with you? Boy, stop doing that way. It's too different. And so then you got those external people. Don't do it that way. I mean, it's our nature. You know why you're so mean? It's your nature. You know why you lie so much? It's your nature. And the Holy Spirit wants to wake up your nature. The Holy Spirit wants you to say, you better see the value in something other than the vanity in yourself. You better see the value in something other than the vanity in yourself. Because when you have an opportunity to appreciate value and you mess it up, it doesn't come back around. I know you think you'll win the lottery. Doesn't come back around. Don't get surprised and expect people to be something other than they are. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, because you cannot understand how you are as a patient, and you cannot understand about the spirit of patience and who you need to look out for. You think how vulnerable we are when we lay on the operation table. And then you hear that thing say, Mr. Prothrow, it's time to wake up. Mr. Prothrow, first thing we want to do, can I have something to drink? Wow, we forget about the thing. We just really truly, you just went out of here, didn't you? You don't know what happened. Did you hear folk talking? But you've been operated on, God bring you back. You say, oh, my God. And then we cry the next day because we have a fingernail that breaks. We would be ashamed of ourselves, but it's not in the nature of human beings to be ashamed of themselves as long as they feel the sense of depravity of God or unfair treatment. So we got to practice. We got to practice, and we got to procure ourselves a praise position. And you do this, as I said the other night, by reminding yourself of how bad things could really be. How I could have a church, a mega church, but you are the mega church. And I'm not, who can love me better than you guys love me? Who and the only reason I'm being transparent with you because I'm old and it don't matter no more. If I was, I wouldn't be telling you nothing. And that's why I didn't tell you when I was younger. Because you're going to take it and you're going to run with it. There are days I just walk in the street and breathing the fresh air. Didn't look like that. It has nothing to do with anything about our ability to learn how to count that thing as getting better if I put something in it. Now, insatiability, curses, satisfaction with greed and fleshly lust as satisfaction, curses sacrifice with complacency and indifference. But here's your new part. Sacrifice curses insatiability with intolerance and ill understanding. Intolerance. Let him preach, it's okay. Intolerance. Intolerance. In my clothes, intolerance. I'm not going to put up with that anymore, said the lady. I'm not going to take that. And there's some things you can't do. I can take anything, but I can't take. Be careful, because you're cutting short what might become value to you down the road. Why is it that we have a limit on our patience? Because we want to be control freaks. And we want everybody to be exactly what we want them to be, when we want them to be it, or else out of here. It takes people time to grow up. And it takes people time to grow out. And if you stop being so intolerant with someone whose nature is a little different than yours, you might end up with the last few years of them being different than they are. Or until then, you cannot make a sorry man anything but a sorry man until he decides not to be a sorry man. You can talk about it all day long. You said, Lee's been falling through the roof for 10 days. You ain't moved them yet. But make yourself a squirrel bed and lay down on it, because it's not going to happen just because you say something. But you have to have enough knowledge to know that this too I can pray about. And when you pray about it, stop playing with it. If you pray about it and it's valuable to you, don't ruin it by trying to control it. I'm teaching you good stuff now. I'm trying to make you cry. I've already cried. When you pray about it, leave it alone. Stop trying to control people to make them be who you want them to be, because if they ain't ready to do it, it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. Their nature has not prepared itself for changes yet. And maybe because they're just a little young, maybe because they're too old. You know, they say you can't teach the old dog new. Now, I hate that reference to dogs, but it's true. You go out there now and try and teach classic how to do something. She'll sit now because I have to get sit, girl, about 5 times. Don't make a fool out of me, says, just sit. On the 5th time, she go and sit down. But you know how I can always get her to sit down? If I take the leash, pull her neck up, and put my hand on her butt and push her down. Did I just preach or what? Sometimes the very thing you want, you may need to put your hand in it to help it. Be calm and stop walking away frustrated because a child is not growing quicker than you would desire them. Because someone is not, you don't know what the past is, what brought a person to be who they are as they are. And listen, ain't nobody talking about the roots. Let me whisper that to you. The branches, yes. The fruit, yes. The limbs, yes. The leaves, yes. The harbingers, yes. But ain't nobody talking about the roots. Because the roots got pain and embarrassment. And sometimes the roots need you to protect others. And so you bear the burden of carrying the roots. Is that not preaching? That's what I need to hear you say. Because I have been a control freak. I never thought I was such a control freak. I wanted my son and my daughter, my auntie, I wanted everybody to do it the way I wanted to do it. And you can eliminate some of that by keeping them out of your responsibility. If they're your responsibility, then you don't have to wait on them to grow up. It's just that simple. My daughter Precious, you would never have thought that Precious would be that brilliant, bright person that she is today from where she was trapped at one time. My baby was in trouble. But now she is trouble. But she was in trouble. Within herself, she was in trouble. We could not figure out to save our lives. We found out, but you have to know what makes people so insatiably determined to be the way they are, and most of the time it's because they're running from something that they're missing. We all are there. Church is the same place. You come to church and you're looking for, I just want the word. You're going to find more than that. At church, you're going to find the word, and drunkards, and adulterers, and fornicators, and liars, and backbiters, and cheaters, and gamblers, and lottery players. You'll find people who are still in church. People are going to go out there today get more vegetables than they should for Pastor Kerr. That's just nature of people. In every church, you're going to find two-plate thieves. The two-plate thieves, they say, get one plate. Two-plate thieves going to always get two. So you can't come to church and find, I just want Jesus, but you need to go where he is, because in church, you'll find Jesus and people. And when you find people, you're not going to find purity. If he did it for me, he can do it. If he did it, he can do it for you. If he did it for he can do it. He can do anything that he said that he would do. Let's say it again. If he did it, he can do it. If he did it, he can do it for you. If he did it, Lord, for me, he can do it. He can do anything that he said that he would do. If he saved my soul, he can do it. If he saved, he can do it for you. If he saved my Lord and my soul, he can do it. He can do anything that he said he would do. If he healed my body, he can do it. If he healed, oh Lord, he can do it for you. Need a witness. Heal my, he can do it for you. He can do anything. Say it again, y'all. He can do it. Oh, Lordy. He can do anything. He can do anything. He can do anything that he said he would do. Y'all, today we're going to open up the altar. There are those here who just want to get